Sherry, how dare you walk out on me? Are you crazy? Is something wrong with you? Is something wrong with you?
And if you're watching this, know that it's not your phone that's giving you this quality view. It's by Divine Media.
That's right.
Great angles, and it's great. Let's put our hands together for Divine Media. And I'm so fortunate and happy to work with two great engineers in Kumasi over here, Mose and Andrew Klug. Great guys. Great guys. So I know people are wondering, like, how did you enter into music? Like, tell us about you. How did you, like, growing up, how did you enter into music?
I'm not too much good with history.
History, okay.
Yeah. So
Actually, he's very good at history.
I'll try and remember what I can remember. But as far as I can remember, I'm very fortunate to have come from a very musical home.
Oh.
Yes. Mommy being the music director. All my brothers, we're about 7 siblings. And then 5 boys and then 2 beautiful ladies. All the boys can play at least 2 instruments.
Are you serious?
Yes. My eldest brother can play the drums, the bass. My sister sings. And then the superhuman amongst us, William AFFREH.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been my inspiration and everything. Everything you see me doing is because I had a good background.
Wow.
Yes. And then Bernard comes after. Bernard plays the keyboard. And then Lawrence comes after. Lawrence plays the drums and then the bass guitar. And then I come. Then I have a lady after me. So as far as I can remember, major influence has been the house, the home. Because, I mean, I would hear music every now and then. Mommy singing hymns, songs upon songs. And then my brothers also playing musical instruments. And what I can remember is, at some point in time, we would go. If I can remember, I think the church equipment, the church drums, or I can't really remember. We'll go and bring it to our house. And then we had a teacher, Braco Fiesa, who was teaching my brother then. And then so he would teach my brother whilst back then I was a kid. So I'll be in the room and then be listening to whatever it is my brother is being taught. Then if not anything, you won't get opportunity to sit behind the drums. But if not anything, you get to feel the grooves and everything. Yes. And then, fast forward, my brother became a pro. I mean, William AFFREH was all over Kumasi. He's done a lot for me. I mean, he paved the way for me. And then people would also come to the house to come and learn from him. Okay, so that's how that's what I can remember. So then when, some of these students comes to the house and William will be teaching them, I'll be in the room and be listening to what William is teaching them. Okay, so then my Lawrence, my big brother, after these students are gone, Lawrence will bring the acoustic guitar because we were not allowed to hold the acoustic guitar because they were afraid we were going to break it or something. So then Lawrence would bring the guitar and then we'll go and sit in Mommy's sofa. And then Lawrence would start, teaching me whatever it is William was trying to teach those guys. Interestingly, Lawrence can't play the bass as I'm playing now. But then when William was out of the house, when he was going to escort his friends, after teaching lessons, Lawrence would bring the bass. And then I remember very well, we had this acoustic guitar. It was a 6-string nylon acoustic.
Oh.
And then Lawrence would teach me some grooves like, I remember back then, God, you're so good, da, 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 da. God, you are wonderful. Then Lawrence would run the very original groove. And then he would teach me other grooves like...
Wow, that's PK's favorite.
Yes. And so, fast forward. William actually realized that I could play the guitar.
Oh.
And then, that guy, any good thing that you play, let's say I'm outside, I play and people are yelling me, people are giving me thumbs up and all that. You go back to the house, William will tell you, we now boy and go for, or more, your boy no cry no, your boy was so we played this over these changes, we played that over whichever changes and all that. So then, he was too much ahead of me, in terms of learning. So then, at some point in time, I won't even go to him to go and learn. Because then I will end up being more confused with the many things, he will be mentioning and all that. And so, he noticed I could play little by little. And then, what I can remember is our then church bass player had traveled. And then my brother told them that I could play. They were like, oh, Junior, what is in Nasokra? Because back then we had this, I don't know if it was Fender, but this huge bass guitar. That was like I was about 9 years.
Oh.
Yes. And then they were like, no, he can't carry the bass. It's too heavy for him. All of those things. Chet Dickens and I could say guitar, no strings, no penny for never. So then they gave me the opportunity. That's St. James Baptist Church.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. And then I went to play, I think it was a wedding. That was when they realized, but it didn't surprise a lot of people because mommy was into music. My other siblings were all playing musical instruments. And so they even named us the AFFREH family. And they would call us, they would come and do ministration at church. Sometimes, with my brother Lawrence on drums, Bernard on keys, William on keys, mommy singing, Ophelia singing, Gifty singing.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember we even had a uniform that we would only wear when we were going to do ministration at church. Yes. And then, through that, mommy, daddy, dams, they won't let you joke with school.
Yeah.
So then, if anything, you would have to go to school and then make sure you learn, you pass and all that. And so when we closed from school, I would then follow William to his rehearsal, because back then he was playing with bands and all that. Even though my mom was not allowing her. But then these guys would wait until William was done with school, and then they would come and ask permission from mommy that we are going to spend only 2 hours or 3 hours. And then I'll follow him to rehearsals. That was how come I was able to, I got exposed to other genres and all that. Yes. And so, fast forward after JHS, even this as far back as I was 9 years. So then when I got to JHS, I wasn't very active because back then we had this solid group in our school, Children of Israel. They were superstars, like they were my age mates, but they had hit tracks and all that, and they were family. Yes, super talented. So when I was in Cambridge International, I never even got hold of the bass guitar, even though I could play, because they were a team, and they sounded very good. They had songs out there. People loved their songs and all that. And so it was until, I think, final year. And then back then, Daughters had released a song. With that kind of group. So when they were rehearsing, and then I think their bass player was not around. I'm not too sure about that. And then I went to pick up the bass, and then I played something. That was when one of them noticed, hey, so you be bad boy like that, you can play. And then all these while, you've been in the school, quiet, you didn't want anybody to know. And then fast forward to senior high school. I should say that was where I actually decided to take it a bit more serious. Because back then, when I got to Kumasi Anglican Secondary School, I met some great musicians. My seniors, those who were ahead of me, those who were on the same level as me, they could play real good. The likes of Augustine, and then that is where I met Frederick, Achie.
Wow.
And back Achie he was already playing with big bands before he even came to school.
Wow.
Yes. And so this little guy would, play horns, combine with everything and all that. And so I wasn't interested in this group stuff until Senior James Dapper, he was in final year then. He approached me and was like, we heard that you are AFFREH's brother. And you've not been showing up for rehearsal. I'm like, oh, senior, me, I don't want to do my one corner. And they say, you for can't rehearsal. If you don't come out, you go do trouble inside. You go scrub and tense. So then, I mean, you know senior high school, what happens there. So I had no other option than to be at rehearsal. And I went to meet this guy. We had this left bass player, dangerous guy, with other serious guys as well. So that's where I met these guys. And these guys were already pros. So then I didn't have an option than to step up my game, to be able to, be gigging with them and all that. So we had a very good time in senior high school, playing gigs. We would travel everywhere. I remember one of the senior high schools headmaster died, I think Kumasi High School. And we being students at Kumasi Anglican Secondary School, we were the one who were, contracted to come and play the gig. I mean, as young as we were. So what we would do is we'll go and find an experienced singer who wasn't part of our school, like an experienced singer, and then he will come and join us. He'll come and be our lead vocalist, and then we will learn all the songs. Jankamba, Sasa Kroma, all of these are like songs and all that. And then even though mommy and them still were in school, but we will still, go out there and then. But then we were not running away from school. We would seek exit and all that because our headmaster knew, we could play and all that. And then afterwards, I got to the university. And then that was where I met Bludo, all of these guys, like dangerous guys. I met senior Jesse Jokoto, Jarvis, all of these guys. And then during tech days, William was then a TA, as in my big brother. And then he introduced me to Konimo, the legendary Konimo.
No.
Konimo. So I would say my high life background and all of the high life stuff that I'm able to do, Odon, Song, Kwao, Sechi, all of those things, that was where it started. And at the same time, my brother was also a TA in distance learning. And so when we go to Konimo, and then Konimo will run through us with all of the music styles and genres. When we come back to campus, we had a place that we used to call Jazz Central. We would gather there and then set up on our own. And then we had dangerous vocalists, Sandra who plays with Victor Day.
Yeah.
At Plus 223, she was our vocalist. Eli, Quantuma, other more vocalists. And so, after, getting all of these background, like high life background, my brother will now take me through jazz lessons. Yeah, so by the time the week has ended, I would have probably gone through almost a little bit of every genre. That was why I was saying I owe everything to William, my senior brother. So you run me through all of these things. And I got a chance to meet a whole lot of people. On Tech Campus. Checheku, who is, touring everywhere. George Spratz. And then a few other more guys.
Wow.
Understand? So then, and then after school, we are still doing music. We love it. It's my passion. I enjoy doing it. So I should say a little bit of background.
Yeah, but there's a good question over here from Isaac Chung. Says that how has education affected your mindset on doing music professionally?
How has
education affected your mindset on doing music professionally?
It has really helped me. Because, if not for education, I wouldn't have gotten the chance to meet all of these greats that I made mention of. Yeah, so then it made me, I got a chance to, meet people through education. And so I would still entreat and I would advise every young guy out there to, if not anything, acquire a university degree. Trust me. Because no disrespect to anyone. School will be school, you understand? And I'm just trying to find the right words to, go about this. When you see people who are educated and they are still a master of their craft, you get a difference between, yes, those, I don't want to use any names, but those on the other side. You understand? So education is good, and so I would entreat everybody to school. That doesn't also mean that if you're not able to school, it could be that, financial issues and all that. You still can't be super talented, you still can't do music. You can be all that you want to be. You understand? But if you are a bit more educated, trust me, it will help you.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Great. And I've been told he's reading his
Berryman is doing his doctorate, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's at the corner choking cool like that.
Very soon he will become our TA. He will start teaching myself, Jao, and then Kendrick, Archie, and all that. I mean, that's how we are. You know, no matter his age, most of us are older than him. But then if you know something that the rest of us don't know, that's something with my team. We would come to you. Archie, what is it you did the other day? Charlie, before they show me that, then Archie will show me. George doesn't mind teasing the eldest person amongst us. Going to every now and then, you understand? Just to create a humor and all that. So then, yes.
But there's one aspect of you that I admire a lot. How do you see raw talent and make them grow with you? I've seen most of the guys that you play with. I've seen them for so many years. They've been with you, and you're trying to move with them, and now they are doing so well. And how do you work together with them? Because I've seen the likes of George and the other guy. What's his name? Kofima. Yes, all those guys. I've seen you, and the way you always stand out for them and all that. How do you do that?
For me, everyone was created differently.
Yeah.
Kofima looks different from George. George looks different from. I look different from Archie. And so
I look different from Piqué.
Exactly. And so, no matter what happens, you can't be like somebody.
Sure.
You understand? Everybody has their uniqueness. And so that is what I look out for most of the times. And I must say I work with the best team in Ghana, trust me.
Wow.
These guys behind me. I mean, we would fight, we would do everything, we would quarrel. But then when we're on stage, you won't see anything of that sort. Because music is the focus. You understand? And so, I believe that everyone is very different. They have their unique styles. And so music is also, we have to be dynamic and all that. So, depending on whichever gig I may be doing, and now I've built the relationship with each and every one of them. So then I call you, George, are you engaged? Because in Ghana, our system, you can't put a person on a payroll. He's super busy. Kofima is super busy. Kofima plays with a lot of bands. Archie plays with a lot of bands. Him, Ejaya, Sergio, Kwashibu, everywhere. Berima, you understand. They are all super busy people. But then what I would do is I would respect everybody in their space. When anything comes up, I'll call you. Yes, bro. On so-and-so date, are you available? If you tell me yes, okay, rehearsal starts on so-and-so day at so-and-so time. And trust me, there hasn't been any day that any one of them has turned their back on me. Each time I call them for whichever gig, sometimes they will stop everything that they are doing. For instance, this very show. Because, it's around Christmas. People are very busy, after the corona, wahala and all that. Gigs now has started, trooping in and all that. And so, as we sit here, I know some of them have to be elsewhere. But then they were like, yo, AFFREH, we got to do this for you. And I so appreciate, these guys and all that. Please give them a clap. Yeah, they've been very supportive. Yeah, and so that is it.
Wow. I really respect all. They don't. Most of them don't talk that much, but they talk with their instruments and
that's right.
For
instance, I don't like to do much talking because.
But it's great having you with us. We're gonna take questions from the audience and all that, and it's gonna be great. And the questions also, we're going to read out the questions over here also. But can you tell us some of the artists that you've worked with so far? I know you've done a lot of stuff, but I know people want to also know.
I've worked with almost everybody. Yeah. For me, I'm a musician. After school, this is what I'm doing. And so, sometimes...
let me ask you, what made you wanting to do this like as a full-time job?
I wouldn't say it's a full-time. I mean, I'll still continue with schooling. Yes,
Wow.
but for now, this is what I'm doing. So let's take it as it's a full-time. Yes, stuff that I'm doing. What was your question again? The one you asked before.
If your answers alone are enough for me. But like the artists that you've worked with.
Yes, a lot. Honestly, if I try to mention the names, I know I'll forget a lot of them. But I mean, any artist that comes in mind in GH, and then all of the gospel singers, all of the secular singers, excluding some of the new ones who just popped up. But I've had the opportunity of working with almost everyone, from Ochiame Kwame, Becca, Ifia Window, Keche, I bet them. What are some of them? Sergio. But yeah, and then you understand. And then with the gospel musicians, almost everybody. Uncle Joe Metal, my biggest boss, Sonny Badu, my mom, Ohima Mercy, Auntie Dinah Enchi, Alexandra, AFFREH. I didn't want to forget some of the names. Yeah, I mean, with all our Helena Rabbles, Abawa Kone, Stella Basil, Mamitiwa of Yalsapon fame, Mama Amy Newman, a lot of them.
Wow.
Almost everybody you can think of, I would say by the grace of God, because it's not my mind. It's by the grace of God. I don't know how I've been able to do this, except for the grace of God.
So yes. I know we are talking about most of, but what has been some of the challenges that you like been through as getting yourself to be a pro? And what are some of the challenges?
I'm still a student, so I'm not too much of a pro.
I beg you can't have your leg on something like this and all this and tell me that you are a student. What kind of student are you?
One bass icon would say, Victor Wooten, he would say it's an ongoing practice. We never get to finish practicing. Every now and then new stuff pops out, and then you would have to, get yourself abreast with them. So, challenges. Actually, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see them as challenges. Because for me, if there's anything new that you don't know, you would have to go through the challenge of learning that new something. And then at every stage that we get to, let's say you are in stage 1 and you would want to graduate to stage 2. What you have to do is you have to spend sleepless nights trying to, be ahead of your colleagues. And so that is, at that level, that's the challenge you have to go through. You understand? And so, and the same way when you are in stage 2 and you want to go to stage 3. So for me, most of the things other people will see as a challenge, I don't see them as such. I always see them as an opportunity to learn something new.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But
seeing it as an opportunity to learn something new.
That's right.
That's great. We're going to take a commercial break. Before we come on the gear itself, I've seen you using the Fender Jazz. For how long have you been using this bass?
This bass.
We'll come to the bass. But anywhere I see you with this bass, and you handle it with care. There's a relationship
5
between
years,
you and
almost 6 years. It still looks fresh.
Wow.
It still looks good.
You really have a relationship with your instrument, which is great. We're going to take a commercial break. You're going to do another song for us, and I know. Please tell people that AFFREH is here. The questions will come. I know some of you, and please, the question will filter them. I know we'll filter them. PK is so ready for questions and all that. What are you having? An iPad or what?
PK's questions will go to Archie.
Come again.
Senior. PK's questions will go to Archie and Senior Jail because they are the key guys. I'll help the bass players with their bass questions.
And please, this program is not a megabyte program. if you're here to come and watch this program, you need to bundle in the gigabytes because there's a lot of things. So please, I beg you, you need to really boost your internet and so that you get everything correct for yourself. And thank you so much for watching. Just a short commercial.
Now I don't know what you live for. Salvation, what I live for. God, I call him for wisdom. Rejoice and sing a new song. Demons waiting outside, saying that we weak for God. They don't know who we got. Savior came with a squad. God in me, Satan we don't need. Jesus Christ, you we need. And your born is victory for us all. God in me, Satan we don't need. Jesus Christ, you we need. And your born is victory for us all. Oh Allah, Majuka Allah, Ejimeni Allah. All my sorrows are down. Oh Allah, Majuka Allah, Ejimeni Allah. All my sorrows are down.